websites. It's like a little corner, bold, it says apply now. Okay? You create a login information, whether through Polk State or through Valencia. You're going to create a login information. And then you're going to specify that it is a DE application. Okay? DE stands for dual enrollment. When you do that application, it is free to apply for both Polk State and Valencia. After you complete your online application, you're going to be redirected to the signature page. When you click the dual enrollment application signature form, you have to sign your name, you're going to submit it, and they're going to process it. Okay? Now, please don't skip this step. This is very important. You need to make sure that you create your student account. Okay? After you've gone through the application process, it's going to redirect you to the dynamic forms. This is where you fill out your personal email. You can put in your parents' contact information. All of the information that they need to get a hold of you goes in that. So you have to create an account. If not, you're not going to have any idea whether you got accepted or not, whether they need additional forms, anything like that. Okay? And typically, if you do it right, it's a very seamless process. So if you want to sit down with your parents and go through it, you can make sure that you don't miss anything, but this is an important step for them to be able to get a hold of you after you've completed it. You also have to create your own email within their school system. So you're going to have a Valencia email or a Polk State email, one or the other. Okay? Any questions so far before I continue? Good? Everybody good? All right, so after you complete the student form, it's going to generate an email to your parent or your guardian so that they can approve your participation in the program. So make sure that all that information is accurate. If you put in a fake email or you put in a wrong email, you're not going to get the form and you're not going to be able to participate. Okay? So again, make sure you're communicating with your parents and you're letting them know that you're going to need this signed. Okay? So, are any of you homeschooled? You're homeschooled. Are you distance learner or are you homeschooled to Florida Virtual?
Florida Virtual.
Okay, so for Florida Virtual, once your parent or legal guardian provides you an online signature, you have to submit it to the Department of Dual Enrollment, which they'll do it online. You need to specify that you are a Florida Virtual student. And what they will do is they will send a request to Florida Virtual to retrieve your current grading. Okay, so make sure that you indicate that on there with your application. That's the only difference that you have to do. For my students that are not Florida Virtual or homeschooled, you have to indicate your high school, okay, and provide your high school's name so that they can retrieve your record from your high school, okay? What I would also recommend you doing is if you are going to participate in the program, is that you apply and you do all this stuff yourself, okay? A lot of the times your guidance counselors, if you go to a larger high school, your guidance counselors will tell you, okay, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to help you with it, whatever, whatever.
Don't count on that.
Don't count on that, okay? You are one, if you go to a large school, you are one of 1,000. And even in our school, which my school is like 400 and something students, it still takes a long time. Take matters into your own hands, okay? This is your education, your educational experience, and there is no hard feelings with you handling things. I did all of my stuff myself. When I got my letter of approval, I went to my dean and I said, I got my letter of approval. I want to take these courses. Can you approve them? I did all that myself. I did not leave that up to anybody to do for me, okay? Because unfortunately, you have no control over whether things are getting done in a timely manner, if you're going to be able to take the courses that you need. You don't want to do that, okay? You do it yourself and you stay on top of it. Do not count on anybody else to get that done for you, all right? So, once you receive your Valencia College ID or your Polk State ID, you'll be able to access your, and for Valencia it's a VID, and for Polk State it's a PID. That's all it is, okay? So these IDs, or ID numbers rather, because you don't get the physical ID yet, but the ID number is what they identify you with. So whenever you call, parents, you want to talk to an advisor, you want to pick classes over the phone, or you need to go to school for something, you're going to need that ID number. Okay, so make sure that you don't lose it. If you do, within your online portal, in your account settings, there's a little tab that says, show me my BID or my PID. And you can retrieve that within there, okay? So you're gonna need eligible assessment scores, as I talked about. Typically, they want to know that the students that they are accepting into the program have certain criteria. They do this so that they can determine what classes they can offer you, okay? So this is gonna come in the form of the PERT, SAT, or ACT. Now, I know that a lot of schools really push hard on the SAT. It is your standard college prep test. You're a junior, senior, you are taking the SAT. They don't push the ACT, I don't know why. I can tell you from experience, the SAT sucked for me. I mean, well, I scored good, but not good enough for my standard. So I took the ACT, and I blew it out of the park. Because the way that I learn in particular reflects a lot better the structure of an ACT test than an SAT test. So I highly recommend that you guys take both tests. I know that sounds insane, but to take both tests. Now, with the SAT, you get a complete waiver of your fee for the SAT. If you go to a Title I school, pretty much just about any school in Osceola County.
Same with both, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get an SAT waiver, meaning you don't have to pay for your test, which is great. You save about $50 to $75 for your parents anyways, okay? But parents, I highly encourage you guys to have your student take both tests. It gives them a fair chance at being able to look at two different tests. One is more science, math, reading. The other one is more math intensive and reading comprehension intensive. Some students, believe it or not, having that fluctuation of different subjects allows them to shine more because it's showing several subjects that they are good at versus two major explosive sections. That can be very overwhelming. So that's why I always suggest that. And with the SAT, there's also a writing component that a lot of the times is very hard for students, having to write an essay in such a short amount of time, not being able to proofread it. So you don't want that to be the only thing that colleges are looking at, because sometimes kids cannot take tests. I hate tests. The anxiety kills me when I have to take a test. So, and I've been taking tests for a really long time and I still hate tests. So you want to make sure that you have multiple options to show. You also want to bring your A game. Have letters of recommendations from your teachers, your coaches, okay? And if you go to a church or outreach or you're involved in any extracurriculars, it's very important that you guys seek those people and call in those favors to get those letters of recommendation. And then don't throw them away, because those letters can be used forever, okay? Keep those letters. So make sure that you guys prepare that package, make it look good. You bring your A game. The same way you guys build portfolios here for baseball so that you can showcase your best skills, exactly what you need to do with dual enrollment, okay? And the benefit is, again, this is the opportunity to experience college where you don't have to worry about how you're going to pay for this or how your parents are going to pay for this or anything like that, okay? And for a lot of you, that is, or at least for me growing up, that was a big concern because college isn't cheap. And I knew I wanted a college education, but I had to figure out how we were going to juggle all that. And I know that I wanted a certain degree and I knew how much that was going to cost. So shaving as much of that off as possible, trust me, it alleviates a lot of stress and ultimately financial burdens for you when you become an adult, okay, or your parents. So the way that the SAT is scored is by division, okay? Your overall number has to be like a minimum of like an 1800 or something like that on their scale. With the ACT, you could see it is substantially less in comparison to the SAT, okay? And I mean, you're talking about 19, 17, 19, 21. Critical reading 24 for the SAT, writing 25, math 24, math 26. These are different components. So you're going to be tested on algebra, geometry, statistics, pre-calc, and calc. I never took pre-calc and I never took calc. They didn't offer it at my school and I was not about to volunteer to take any more math classes. So I wanted to take the ACT, okay? Now, with the perk, you have reading, writing, math, okay? It's broken down the same way, but it is college specific. So they tell you what you need to meet to get into these specific classes. So the goal is for you to get into at least college algebra, okay? If you don't, then you're able to take specific sections over, but your school, your high school may require you to get all of it before you can participate fully in the program, okay? That is on a high school by high school basis. Everybody with me? Any questions? Okay. So, let's say you blow your test out of the park, you did it, you submitted your application, your parents signed off for you to participate, and you receive your letter of acceptance, okay? Which, if you've met everything that we've talked about thus far, your GPA, your test scores, your parents' approval, you're almost guaranteed an acceptance, guys. They're not out there to reject people. It's not financially smart to do that, okay? They want to accept you guys into the program. So, as long as you can make these requirements, you're going to get accepted, all right? Once you get accepted, you can always check your application status 1,000,000 times on your online account. 1,000,000 times, okay? But, let's say you receive your letter, either by mail, email, however the case is. What do you do next? We're going to take a look at the application dual enrollment process, which I'm using a hotspot, so I hope this works. I'm going to show you this video.
Hello, thank you for your interest in Valencia College's dual enrollment program. We hope this brief video helps you gain a better understanding of our application process. Following these instructions will guarantee your application is submitted successfully.
Hold on.
Visit our website at valenciacollege.edu/dual and under the Start menu, select General Information. Then select the Apply Now button to access the application. You will be welcomed to Valencia's online admissions application website. Please click on First Time User Account Creation and follow the instructions provided. Create a login ID and PIN. After verifying the PIN, click Login. Select Dual Enrollment as the application type and click Continue. You will then be prompted to create a dynamic forms account. Dynamic forms will allow you to provide all of the required electronic signatures on your dual enrollment application. Click on Create New Account and create a username and password. Once you have created an account, you will be asked to include your parent/legal guardian's name and email address. Once completed, click Continue. You will be required to provide your contact information, including your full name, date of birth, mailing address, phone number, email address, and your parent/legal guardian's full name. You will then indicate if you've already taken a placement test, such as the PERT, SAT, or ACT. If you select yes, indicate the county in which you took the placement test. You will be prompted to indicate all placement tests that you have taken. Make sure to select all that apply. Please note that placement tests are only valid if taken within the last 2 years. Select the school that you attend. Public or charter school, private school, or homeschool/Florida virtual school. Public, charter, and private school students are required to provide the school information and dual enrollment school representative's full name and email address. If you're a homeschool/Florida virtual school student, you'll be required to upload your letter of verification of home education from Orange or Osceola County, and a copy of your unofficial school transcript with your high school cumulative GPA. When all of the required information is completed, you will be prompted to provide your electronic signature. After you've submitted your part of the application, an email will be sent to your parent/legal guardian for approval. Remember, this will be sent to the email address you provided at the beginning of your application. But it's important to double check this before you submit your application. Once your parent/legal guardian submits their electronic signature, the application will be sent to your DE school representative for academic verification. If you're a homeschool/Florida virtual school student, your application will be sent to the dual enrollment office after your parent/legal guardian provides their electronic signature. After all signatures are submitted, the application will be sent to the dual enrollment office for review. A confirmation email will be sent to your email once all signatures are provided. You will receive a VID via email in 5 business days. If you have previously applied, you are required to submit a new application, and your VID will remain the same. Please note the dual enrollment office will not be accepting any applications after the application deadline. For a list of our application and test score dates, please visit valenciacollege.edu/dual. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact the dual enrollment office. We are here to help.
All right, guys, so that was pretty easy, right? Not too overwhelming? I know, the court can get on the video, all right? That's all I got, that's all I got. Okay, so once you finalize your application and you get your letter of acceptance, the first thing that you want to do is, one, notify your school guidance counselor. So depending on whatever school you go to, you may have someone who is designated to do dual enrollment only, okay? If you go to a smaller school, like at New Dimensions, then you would be dealing with your academic director, okay? And they would help you pick and choose your classes. If you don't have anyone like that at your school, dual enrollment services at Valencia will help you set up classes, pick a schedule. If mom and dad have questions, you're able to sit down with them and go over the schedule. You have the options of doing online or in person. For those of you who live in Point Siena, the Point Siena campus offers all your basic associate entry-level classes. So you have your entry-level college algebra, you have your English Comp 1 and Comp 2, economics, speech, all of the basics that you're going to need for your associate's degree, okay? Now, the goal is to get all of your basic classes out of the way as quickly as you can, okay? These classes are going to be required no matter what university you go to. So that way, let's say you get a scholarship for baseball, okay? And you get to go play somewhere else. You have half of these classes already taken care of, and you don't have to worry about it. Or better yet, you have an associate's degree. So you're coming in as a junior, like my brother. My brother came in, and myself, as a junior in a 4-year university, and we shaved 2 years off of our academic careers and parents' pockets, you know, in participating in this program, okay? So, do you guys have any questions? No? Yes?
How do you recommend me to study math? Because I already took the first test twice, and then I'm going for my third time in January.
Okay.
And I already passed the writing, but I still need the math.
The math component.
And reading, but reading I missed by 1 point, so I still be fine.
Okay. For math, you can literally go on they have older tests that they post online that you can study for. I highly recommend that if you have any type of resource or way to get to the Atlas Center, or if your school offers tutoring, that you specifically focus on the algebra components, because that's typically what gets people, that's what get me. The algebra components are what's going to be mostly tested, because the first entry class that you have for math, if you don't do intermediate, is college algebra. So algebra would be the best way. And technically speaking, you take algebra, what, 10th grade?
Freshman.
10th, right? Or 11th? Freshman year?
Yeah.
Okay, I took mine 10th grade, so that's probably why. But, so if you take algebra freshman year, what I would do is, I would use any type of algebra study package, or if you have algebra 2 study package, or you're taking them now, that's what you need to focus on. Because that's what's gonna be tested. If you don't have that, and you have not taken it, or whatever the case is, then online access to all of their free, you literally Google per practice test, math, and you will have a plethora of resources. That's how I did it. I had to constantly take it over and over and over again because math just doesn't stick for me. I'm like a not math-brained person at all, okay? So that's how I would do it. If computer testing you don't like computer testing, that doesn't work for you, then what I would suggest is buying a study book or downloading a study book from online. And if you want, Dad, I can email you some resources.
Yeah.
And he can pass those on
I
to
can
you.
pass those to you guys.
Okay? So, but that's where it would be. That's what you're gonna be mostly tested on, is the algebra. Now, have you taken the SAT though?
I was looking at the PSAT.
Okay. They won't use the PSAT's math equivalent for your PERT, have you asked?
Yeah, that's for juniors only. Juniors are not players. I won't put in the PSAT, and they said that they don't really mind it because they don't put the PSAT first.
Okay. So they won't use the PSAT. Are you going into, you're going into junior year next year, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I would do is what school do you go to?
Really?
Okay, so you probably have a guidance counselor there that would do the dual enrollment stuff. What I would do is I would go to the guidance counselor. I would say, listen, I'm very interested in participating in the dual enrollment program. I know I've taken the PERT and I haven't passed the math component. Will they consider any other test form, either SAT or ACT, that I can take over the summer and have them counted? I would see if they do that. You'd be surprised that you may be getting psyched out on just one component with the PERT, that if you take the SAT or the ACT and they can use that score, it'll override it for you. Okay? So, but either way, I'll get Dad some study materials for you, and I'll have those to him by tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Okay? Do you guys have any other questions? No. Okay. If you guys need any help, or you have a GPA that may not meet the requirement, and you want me to take a look and let you guys know what you need to make up, how you can make it up to boost your grade, just let my dad know, and I'll plan another day to come out here and sit down and go over it individually with you guys. Okay? Or if there's any other questions that you think about, just let him know, and I'll get everything back to him.
You all got my email address, right? If not, you can reach me through band. I can't hide. You can find me easily. So,
Harris, do you guys have any questions?
no, good.
No?
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right.
Ah, tipo joven como tú. Sí, a eso voy. ¿Cuánto tiempo va a estar fuera acá, Carlos? 6 semanas, si Dios quiere. Ok. Vamos a hacer lo siguiente.
Charter school?
Yeah.
Yeah, my son goes to the Saint Cecilia.
Okay.
So he has a scholarship.
Bobby, does Candlelight participate in Pokestops?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we
As
got,
long
we,
as the school participates,
Yeah, we
then
do.
you're good. If the school, let's say worst case scenario, the school wouldn't, you as the parent could still apply.
yeah, you can still do it, but we do it, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Dr. Grubbs is the one that does that. She handles that directly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, our principal, no counselor.
Yeah, that's
She-
how mine is. Mine
yeah,
is with my
She's the one that
principal,
does it, so, but he's gotta talk to her.
So what
and-
I would do is I would have him do the application, and bring the application completed.
What you looking for?
and ready to go.
What you looking for?
Dr. Grubbs, I'm very interested in participating in the dual enrollment program.
Petito un pelotero.
I've started my application process. In his case, he would be doing it through Polk State.
Okay, yeah. So
And,
we in Lake Wales.
okay, yeah, so you would be doing it through Polk State. And, once he has the application, if you need any help with that, then you can let my dad know and I can do like a one-on-one to get that done for you.
Yeah, because I mean, he's in practice, but it will be better like if you go over with him. 'cause
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
different when mom goes over, then someone
Yeah,
is.
absolutely. No, just
Yeah.
let me know. I'll gladly help, okay?
Termíname esto, de él, que lo necesito para el profile de él.
Okay,
Um, no,
thank you.
No problem.